Hi, in this video I'm going to provide you 6 different tips on keeping your feet warm while you're camping, hiking, and backpacking. The first tip is to make sure to keep your down and your warmth layers dry, because what happens is if you're hiking along and you're working up a sweat and you start to soak out your down jacket, you're going to get cold because down does not insulate when it's wet. Even though it is the ultimate insulation, its Achilles heel, if you will, is the down fails when it's wet. The corollary to that is, tip number 2, is make sure that you dry out your sleeping bag in the morning. I've got an entire video dedicated to this technique. I'll put a link below in the video. But you got to make sure to keep your sleeping bag dry as well as your down clothing, because once your sleeping bag gets wet, there's no way you're going to keep your feet warm when you're camping in sub-zero temperatures. Believe me, I've been in a lot of sub-zero places and you do not want to have that experience. The third tip is to make sure to place your tent in as good a position as you can to keep it out of the wind. Because if you're in an open plain of ice or wherever you might be, and the wind starts blowing, that wind will come through and push the warm air that you've created in your tent from your body and suck it right out. There's nothing worse than sleeping in cold, windy conditions. I've done that in Antarctica and the Arctic, and it makes it much tougher to stay warm and keep your feet warm. So definitely tip number 3, keep your tent out of windy locations if at all possible. The fourth tip is to use a double wall tent. Now, this is what's called a single wall tent, where it has the fly and then it's just got this mesh breathable thing. This MSR Hubba is super nice in the summer, and I've actually used this in the Arctic and in Yellowstone at -40. And let me tell you, it was cold because that wall just simply wasn't there. So a double wall tent is a tent that has a complete sealed fabric on the inside, just about any classic tent, and then a fly or shell over it that creates 2 walls. The first is the wall inside the tent here, and then the fly out there, and it makes a huge difference. I used the Namage 2 from Hilleberg in Antarctica, and boy, oh boy, believe me, that is a big, big deal. The next tip, the 5th tip, is to make sure to dry out your socks when you're camping. So when you get to your camp and you get all set up, as soon as you can, make sure that you get your socks off, get some fresh socks on, and either stuff your socks into your shirt or get them in the sleeping bag. The way to keep your socks dry overnight is literally, even though it's kind of stinky, is to take your socks, drop them in your sleeping bag when you're sleeping, and they will dry out in the morning, I promise. Now, this technique doesn't work if your socks are completely soaked, like drenched, but if you just put them on your body at night, man, you wake up and your socks are completely warm and dry. And the 6th technique in this video to keep your feet warm when you are camping, hiking, and backpacking in the outdoors is to use the hot water bottle method. All you do is get some boiling water going in your Nalgene bottles here, and you want to make sure that they're good, sealed and tight. Pour your hot water in these bad boys, seal them right up, and then when you have your ski boots, your hiking boots, whatever they might be, take that hot water bottle, make sure it doesn't leak, jam it into those boots as far as you can without distorting them, and that will steam out all the sweat from your feet and any of the ice that might be on your boots. Now, this is a really nice technique because it keeps your boots dry and it also maintains them so the ice doesn't begin tearing up your boots. The corollary is if in the morning you like to make some hot water by boiling it on your, say, XGK stove, put these water bottles in your boots and make your boots as warm as you can in the morning, or keep them dry at night, and it'll make a huge difference in how warm your feet are when you're camping, hiking, and backpacking in the outdoors. My name's Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and professional adventurer. I don't like frozen feet, and I bet you don't either. Hopefully you found these 6 tips useful. Please like and comment on the video, and if you found it great and helpful, subscribe to the channel. Check out my whole series of 6 tips and different tips on keeping your feet dry while you're camping, hiking, and backpacking. I've got over 15 videos in this series to make you more comfortable when you're out in the outdoors. Thank you very much for watching, and stay safe out there.